Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome to my channel. I am Empress Olu, and I'm here to share with you my ideas, my downloads, in helping with our lifestyle and all the things that I do, and my mission as a goddess incarnate. Today, our topic of discussion is ending the pandemic of single motherhood. Now, like I will always say, I'm expressing my ideas on this channel. I embrace peace and understanding and a hearing of all perceptions. Um, I am not here to combat with anyone, to debate with anyone, to belittle anyone. No such things whatsoever. This is an expression of my ideas, and I am doing so freely, expressing my free speech. All right, so ending the pandemic of single motherhood. At day's end, most of the time, I think 98% of the time, because I think maybe I've heard it once in my communicating with women throughout my life so far, through the works and things that I do. Um, Maybe I've only heard it once where a woman was actually okay raising her child by herself or her children by herself. But most of the time, women want a partner raising that child. And oftentimes, the original thought is to raise the child with who fathered the child. That's usually the original thought. Now, many things happen in life. Maybe they're a criminal and they go to jail, or they fall sick, freak accidents, they die. And then, of course, the other side of things where people have a choice and most people walk away. They just walk away from the family, or they walk away from the relationships, or something happens, a breakup of some sort, especially if the parents were romantically involved, happen to where there's a breakup and there's a disperse in the home, if the home ever came together in the first place, because we have such a generation now of baby mama, baby daddy culture. There's not even an attempt to, be in a relationship. It's just, we just get pregnant by strangers. Again, not trying to offend anyone. Trust me, I can't talk. I can't do not judge anyone, because my story is very particular in its own way, and I own my behavior because I'm an adult and I know what I was doing. Okay, we all had health class, biology class. We all had some form of sex education. So, most of you consenting people have no excuse, right? Sorry, I think, yeah, it was all out of focus for a second. That's all right. Most of you consenting adults, most of us consenting adults, knew what we were doing. So, no surprises there. Um, but I watched a documentary the other night, and I'll send the link below if I can. Yeah, I'll put the link eventually. Um, of the pandemic of mothers, black mothers raising their children by themselves. And this was back in the 80s, yo. Back in the 80s, before I was born. Ain't nothing new, huh? Um, and me growing up and seeing the same thing happen in the hood where I grew up, and we grew up in the hood, but we're Nigerian. So we still had our culture very much enmeshed in us, and that was frowned upon. That was frowned upon. So it did. we was scared straight to not to make sure that don't happen. So many people got secrets, but everybody does what's best for themselves. Hmm? Um, no judgments, though we want to teach our youth to be wiser than we were. Um, and again, the difference into where I could say a lot of my foreign counterparts took into consideration that I definitely didn't see here in the West is the high value on marriage. It's very, 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 very high value on marriage, you know. And honestly, age didn't even matter that much. If you were of puberty age and you kind of have a concept and know of what you're doing, dating started to be encouraged. You know, mating season rituals and all that type of thing started to be encouraged. Rites of passage started to be encouraged, you know, for preparing one for this phase of nature taking over. You know, nature has always been in charge, but nature takes another level. You know, when you hit puberty, it's one thing to just be as innocent as a child, but when you hit puberty, you're hitting that milestone. That's for the next phase of evolution. And so, a value on marriage is placed in front of the child very young. They make sure they see the parents together, you know, they make sure they see grandma, grandpa together, auntie, uncle together. Like it's a community thing. And that's something I have not witnessed as much here in the West. Um, and it's obviously been dwindling with all these so-called be free campaigns. Um, I have long renounced feminism. Say what you will. I do not care again. But I almost got sucked into that bullshit. And I said it for me. This is my opinion. I almost got sucked into that mess. You know, like it looked as I got older, it looked like a campaign that was denying me as a woman. You're saying that this is feminism supposed to be in progression or for femininity, but it's a what do you even call that when something is a hypocritical term because it's doing the exact opposite. Everything it campaigns for most of the time is campaigning for the woman to be masculine, and it's seeped into everything that I feel is definitely causing a conflict. Um, in the feminine biology and mentality and spiritual energy and balance of this hemisphere. And my downloads about the scenario. But yeah, we've been given this very thick delusion of feminism, of thinking that Uncle Sam will take care of you. You do not need a man. Or even if Uncle Sam can't do it, you do not need a man. Okay, but you needed a man to have that baby. You had a man to secure that sexual urge. So how does all of that all of a sudden don't resonate? Just gonna say it. There's a few of my ladies that only do things for men. They buy the lingerie because they man want it, not because they want to, but because they man want it. They wear these makeups. They do all these augmentations for the attention of who? Men. You're getting the BBL for a man. So where's this like contradiction of you don't need a man? Even your strength level hits a certain point, and unless you have technology there to help you, Who are you calling? A man. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm not that shit. I don't say that. Oh, anything a man can do, I can do. Oh, no. No. No, no, no. No. Anything a man can do, I cannot do because I am a woman. Just like anything a woman can do, a man can't do because he's not me. I know my place and I respect my place. I keep power in my place. Mm-mm. I will not be competing outside of my space. I am a woman, not a man. No. So, no, I renounce all of that. Like, what in the world? I will never teach my daughter such blasphemy. Violation is a sin upon womanhood. Again, I am an advocate for divine femininity, and my mission here is to balance that energy out on this earth plane for sure. So, for my younger ladies, please listen to me. If you don't, if you want to see examples, take a look at those aunties and grandmas and grandpas, and you see where their life ended up, and see if that's where you want to end up. If that's where you want to end up, then keep following the same paradigm. But if you do want something different for yourself, try embracing a different paradigm. It's not a judgment. Just think about it. Just observe. Observe your surroundings. So, one of the ways that I think we can end the pandemic of motherhood is definitely abandoning this whole feminism thought. No. It doesn't even allow you to embrace your motherhood. Just really start listening to the ideas and see, is it validating me as a woman, or is this telling me that I gotta prove that I'm better than a man? I ain't got shit to prove to nobody. I don't have to prove I'm better than a man. Why? 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 Why are you even in competition with a man? Why are you in competition with something completely outside of your lane? Why? I useless, distractive, just distractions. It's distraction. Anyways, I'm sure there's some positive things to feminism, but I'm sure those things would even happen if that didn't exist. So it's called human evolution. Anyways, next thing. Being out of order with nature. Even most of the other sentient beings, the other um, biological life forms, show a balance in the masculine and feminine energy and the creation of life and the supporting of that life created. Watch the Animal Channel. I don't have to explain it to you. Watch the Animal Channel. So why are we running uphill on slick ice saying that it's okay to be a single mother or a single father? Because I'm not even going just after the women. Some of these dudes out here too think it's, oh, such a fantasy. I'll be a single dad. Seriously? By choice? Mm. I'm sure some of the guys who've entered into that realize it wasn't as easy as their idea was thought about. It takes two to make them. It takes two to raise them. In fact, it takes the whole village to raise them. Because guess what? Once they're an adult, they go out into the world. They go beyond the village. This is another being you've brought into society, into the human race. It's bigger than you. So how are you going to make your contribution that you just created it and left it out into the world half-ass prepared because your ego was more important? out of order with nature. It's out of order. And then um, it's like it's in alignment with poverty. It's in alignment with poverty. And even if it's not material poverty, because it doesn't have to just be material. I know most people would think, oh, you're saying most single parents are gonna be broke. No, not just that. It's not just in a physical state of being. You can have money in the bank, honey. You can have millions, cool. But as a single parent, something will be sacrificed. So, is there emotional abundance and support for that being? Is there physical abundance, as in you physically being there, not being able to cash out your baby some money, not them being stuck with the nanny, not them being stuck with other people outside of their, not saying that they don't share that, because we share that responsibility of the time spent with the children, but as in a vast majority of the time with the birth givers. Are they getting to see who brought them into this world? Are they getting to know the DNA that's in them, the ideas that has already been planted in their DNA? Are they getting to know you? Are you spending that physical time with them? Is there physical abundance? So we're talking about physical abundance, mental abundance, emotional abundance, spiritual abundance. Is there joy? Is there understanding, satisfaction, explanation, wisdom being given? And depending on the gender of the child, are they getting to see an example of their reflection, and are they able to get an example of the opposite sex, so they know or have an idea of interacting with the opposite sex when they're out in the world? Are all of these things being touched, or are you thinking that it's okay that your child can sacrifice something of this because you believe you hold all the power and you can do it all? Is there balance? And true, balance doesn't always have to come in a spouse. It can come from your dad being the male role model for your child, or your uncle or cousin, and you're the mother, or, vice versa. It could be your mom, your sister, as being that feminine idea. But either way it goes, at some point in time, these young people must see relationship. And so are they learning relationships through the soap opera, through Disney, and the princess movies, or are they learning relationship through the examples that their parents have laid out? Real human endorphin interaction, real energy flowing in a room that can be felt. Are they being provided this observation, this wisdom, this experience? Just something to ask. I think if I think that's possible in a two-parent household, a two-parent active household. Not where one parent is active and the other one is just present. No, both parents are active and cooperative with one another when it comes to the upbringing of their offspring. I think it's possible. Now, me and my one of my best friends were having this discussion the other day in one of her rooms. Um, and definitely speaking in depth. And trust me, there's a part two coming to this. Um, Speaking in depth about the disadvantages we had in growing up in a one parent household and the advantages we want to give our children by having them grow up in a two-parent household. And speaking of the advantages of having a two-parent household and being able to peacefully co-parent and unitedly co-parent and give the children the balance that they need, the masculine and the feminine, the structure and the nurturing, like just everything in balance, and then it's not all tipped on one person. And what triggered this was me hearing news of the suicide of one woman where she left her two children because she was tired of doing it alone. The pressure and the depression and the emotional imbalance, the chemical imbalance got to her enough to where she ended her own life. And I understood, I overstood and understood the severity of that. And people think it's a joke and take it lightly. Ladies, stop lying about this whole I'm a strong woman shit. You know that, it's bothering you. You know you're exhausted. It's not a badge of honor to be exhausted and to be treating your body like shit, thinking that's what good parenting is. It's not. You're not teaching your children good habits. And then you're sacrificing yourself and you're making yourself a martyr for nothing. You die, he gonna get another wife. They gonna get a stepmom. There's nothing like the love you can give them that you desire to show them about the world and life. So why put an extra burden on yourself of trying to do two people's job? Not even just two, fucking village. But at the basic nuclear level, the creation level, the intimate level. And I understand we have moments where procreation happens with someone you wish you didn't do that shit with. But what happens, happens. Get another example. Get another partner. Companies do it all the time. They vote a partner out and vote a new one in. ABC. ABC. Ah. So, yeah, I feel like we can end this. We can stop gender warring, which is another distraction. We can stop shifting responsibility onto a fictitious entity and take complete respond ability and accountability to our behavior and actions by showing commitment. Showing commitment by being truly devoted. If you say you love, really love full circle, love selflessly. If your love is truly unconditional for your children, you will find a way to humble your ego and your pride and do what's best for them. But that don't mean kill yourself doing it though. Don't be a martyr. Martyrs are not cool anymore. It's just out of style. So it's just out of style, y'all. Like, why? Tó bá ti kú nìyẹn ó ti lọ. Kò sẹ́ni kankan tá a rántí ẹ̀ mọ́. Ṣùgbọ́n trust me, that memorial that they do. In, don't don't be a martyr. Don't be a martyr. Take care of yourself. Too many funerals, yo. Get to eat the fruits of their labor. She didn't get to eat the fruits of her labor. Let's not do that. He didn't get to see the beauty and the priceless moments of what it is to see his children get raised. it has to stop. We can do better. We can do better. And it's really, I got another video on promiscuity. Go check it out. It's first coming out of these delusions of certain behaviors being cool. No, being promiscuous is not cool. Just making babies with people you do not have commitments with is not cool. Sister, not having a deed in your hand, a marriage license where you actually can acquire some type of property insurance for the sake of your children, actual security for your children, is not cool. Being at the mercy of someone who has you on the documents as a number, not a human, not someone with feelings and real struggles, but just a number, being at their mercy and invasion. Self-reliance is coming. We must, I even still on the journey, we must continue to evolve to that space, y'all. But standards, sisters, standards. We gotta raise our standards. Stop letting him stop giving away the good when he ain't showing you he could take care of you. I honestly feel we raise our standards. If he got working arms and legs, no disabilities, and see even people with disabilities work, so you with your full abilities have no excuse. You have no excuse. I see war veterans missing limbs, have whole businesses and empires. They still can provide for their family. So, what excuse do you have? Oh, the system. Please, please. There are people in more oppressive governments and countries that are still making a way. So, sisters, have some standards. If they weren't getting it so easy and for free, maybe they would do a little bit more work for it. Or they just wouldn't procreate. Maybe we should start a law for that. Like, if you have 2 or 3 kids and you're not paying no child support for them, you should be by law castrated. Like, why? Why? You should be castrated or only be put into use at a sperm bank for people who want to be donated sperm. And that's different. Medical technology. What we do? What we do? Medical technology. But yes, sisters, we gotta raise our standards. We raise our standards. Remember our standards. Like, no, this don't come so easy. Hypergamy is natural. The man is wired for the hunt. What comes easy is not usually valued. Trapping, that's out of style too. That's not cool. It's not cute. Most of the time, it don't end up well. So stop that. It's not cute. It's distasteful. Ugh. Men and women who do that. Manipulation to a whole nother level. For real? People don't get job. Don't get purpose. What is that? Anyways. Um, and it's just emotionally unhealthy for everyone. One of the most fucked up shows that they used to show us in the hood was Murray. Murray with that. This woman slept with multiple people in one night. She does not know the father. Who is the father? Do you know how emotionally and mentally and visually damaging that was on young girls watching that shit? And they were being subconsciously programmed to repeat the same cycle? And even for the men to think, oh wow, there's truly a heathenistic behavior. I can engage in and still not be held accountable or responsible for my actions. There's no true consequence except for the fear of maybe child support. How about the fear of a child resenting you for not being there? How about a child resenting you for not having your protection because something happened to them? How about incestuous accidents happening because they done slept with their brother or sister and they didn't know because you wanted to be a rolling stone with everybody in the neighborhood at the same time? How about there's so much. There's just so much that it's traumatic. It's traumatic for the woman. It's traumatic for the child. It's traumatic for the man. Because even I feel like even within some of those men who abandon, some of those women who abandon their children, there's something that comes within them that's like, ugh, there's a part of me out there that's probably longing for me, and I'm not there. Now, granted, this does not count for adoptions, and I always like to think positively that most of the children that get adopted are adopted into healthy two-parent households, two-parent active households that give those babies the love that they deserve, and in turn give that family the experience of raising a child. I think those are very beautiful, beautiful scenarios and situations. And they even value it more than some of us, that it comes so easy to, that you take the situation for granted. You forget it's a privilege. It's a privilege to be a parent. It's a privilege to raise a child. But so many of you have your egos and entitlement to it. Oh, this is just supposed to happen. Okay. But I think definitely I'm doing my part. Be on the lookout for more of my workshops. Um, Feminine health. I think we definitely need to increase that within the community. Sexual education, that needs to be increased again, once again, within the community. I understand religion really kept a lot of these under wraps and shamed, so people didn't do or discuss them in depth like they should. But I'm hoping of our generation we're changing for the sake of the babies. Yeah. Um, remembering what I wish I had, and making sure we can provide that now. But yeah, we. Oh, excuse me, you guys. Just raise the education on health, um, and biology, and raise the value that we put upon staying together, and raise the value of family again. Um, Raise the standards, you know. Um, Move in order with nature is so easy when you flow with the waves. You fight against the waves, it takes you under. You flow with it, kind of just, it'll take you. It'll take you. Flow with the water. Flow. Be like water, my friends. Oh, I love that song. I should go check it out. Beautiful chorus. Have some beautiful music. Oh my goodness. Um, but yeah, you guys. This is just what I wanted to share, my thoughts and ideas when it comes to ways that we can end the pandemic of single motherhood. I personally don't think it's fun. I didn't enjoy being raised in it. even though it turned out to be a blessing in disguise. For some people, it's a blessing, but still, there could have been more. We owe our children better. Um, and like, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hearing me. I hope it sparks ideas in your mind and conversations amongst you and your loved ones for the betterment of ourselves, the world, our community, our children. Much love and light and peace and blessings. Be safe out there. Um, Stay strong, stay healthy. Blessed be.